Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real, and I'm your host, Bob Gallagher. I'm joined in the studio today by our co-hosts, Aaron Thomason and Mike McCormick with Ross Mortgage. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks, Bob.
Hello, hello.
And our very special guest, Vera Oliveira with Lair Realty Partners, covering all of Metro West all the way into the city. Did I get that right, Vera?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for coming on with us today.
Yes, thank you. Vera, share a little bit about your business and where you work and what you focus on and all that stuff.
Well, I have been a realtor for almost 19 years now, and
Wow.
I focused myself in the Metro West area all the way to Boston. I pretty much help buyers and sellers equally. I'm mainly here to talk about how the current real estate market and how it's affecting people in general, people that are trying to upgrade, people that are trying to downsize, and mainly people that are trying to get out of rent. Rents are so high right now, and mortgage rates are low, and people are just like stuck with paying enormous amount of rents, which mainly they are paying their landlord's mortgage when they can be paying their own mortgage at this point.
Right.
And I speak with so many prospects on daily basis, and I see that many times they think that they have no chance, and they have more chance that they can possibly imagine. So I think that part of what I'd like to talk about today is making sure that I encourage people to at least talk to a mortgage broker, talk to a realtor, and see what can you do to get pre-approved to buy your own place.
Right.
Because there are so many programs out there, and they can definitely be the one for you.
It's true. We do see a lot of people that think they're not ready, and we're able to show them that they actually are. So especially with the way things are going, I think you're right. Sooner than later is ideal. So
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. A lot of people don't realize that they can buy a house right now. I'm still amazed at the number of people who think you have to have 20% to buy a house.
Exactly.
That just baffles me.
Yes, I have seen all sorts of programs from 100% financing to different creative programs that are being offered right now. So I would like to encourage everybody to talk to a professional, a realtor or a mortgage broker, and try to get yourself, if you can't get yourself pre-approved right now, I can guarantee you that one of those professionals will be able to explain to you the steps that you need to take to get there.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely easier than what you think.
Right. And if you can't buy now, as Aaron was saying before, we can put you on a path to homeownership.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that can't buy now, but in 6 to 12 months, I find that the majority of them will be able to buy a house as long as they kind of follow what we put them on in the beginning.
Yes.
Some people may take a little longer. Some people that have much bigger credit problems, you could be looking at 2 years, but in my experience, 2 years is pretty much the longest off that you'd have to wait. Most of the time, it's about 6 to 12 months.
Yes, but when you sit down with a professional and that professional explains that to you, at least you can get yourself prepared for that day.
Right.
If you never take the first step of trying to find out how to get there, then you're never going to get there because you don't know how.
Right.
Exactly.
So it is, usually consultations are free of charge. So you can sit down with a professional and just see what they have to tell you.
Yes, and if anybody tries to convince you that it's not free of charge for the consultation, you've called the wrong place.
Absolutely.
Call somebody else.
Always keep that in mind.
Yes, because I've actually heard recently there are a few people that were charging consultation fees, and it's not legal to do. You're not supposed to charge.
Yeah, you shouldn't charge. There is a lot of wonderful professionals that are there to help you, and there is no charge for the consultation.
Right. Excellent. So can you give us kind of a real estate market update? What's kind of going on in the Metro West area?
Well, the market is still very hot, and my assumption is that it's going to stay hot for a while because there are too many components to support that thought. And one of them is the population that keeps growing in Massachusetts in general.
Right.
There are too many people for the number of properties that we have.
Right.
And that's why rents are going up like crazy because there is a huge demand.
Right.
With that said, it's not only the population that's growing, like everybody that's graduating from college that decide to start their families here and stay here with us. So it's also like the cost of construction. It's becoming so unbearably high and expensive for builders that they don't want to build. And when they want to, not that they don't want to build, it's not worth it for them.
True.
to build to the mid class. Right. And what's happening is because building is so expensive and buying is so expensive, it's creating this crisis that's probably going to take a few years to be resolved.
Right.
With that said, I think that the market is still hot, but that does not mean that you should be discouraged. There is a house for everybody. We just have to make sure that we structure things the right way and make sure that you get to find the property that's the right for you. As long as you're working with a realtor that really knows what they're doing and how to strategize and put together the offer. Right. Because many times it's not only about how much you're paying. You can put 30% down, and but if the terms are not there, and that's what when the realtor knows what they're doing, they will definitely be able to explain to you what's the best path for you to achieve your goal.
Right. And there's a lot of people out there that probably wouldn't be able to afford a single family or even a condo because prices have gone up so much. But, they could look at 2, 3, 4 unit properties where you have rental income to offset the payment. So
absolutely.
That's a great way to get started.
Yeah. One of the things that I always tell my clients is sometimes you cannot get for the first time what you really love to and you dreamed, but start somewhere. And maybe that's not your dream house, but get yourself started, and then you can move on in a few years from there.
Right.
So if you can't buy a single family right now, buy a multifamily, build that equity, and then from there, you go to your single family home.
Right. I was actually talking to somebody earlier today who's telling me that they've got an accepted offer on what they would consider a starter home. It's not their forever house. And I didn't ask which town. I figured starter home. You're thinking 3s, 4s, and she's like, "Yeah, we're buying a starter home. It's $750."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, where's your starter home?" She's like, "It's Needham. That's as close as we could get a single family to Boston because they both work in the city."
Yeah.
$750 for a starter home.
It's hard. Yeah. All the surrounding cities, the cities that surround Boston right now, they are really very, very expensive.
Right.
And that's why more and more people are just going out to the suburbs and trying to find things far out.
Yep.
They prefer to travel. And I think that's really the best decision. It's better for you to travel the next half hour than keep paying your landlord's mortgage.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right, because you think about the outrageous rent you're paying today, and you're thinking, what am I going to be paying 10 years from now if I'm still renting?
You have no idea how many first-time home buyers I get that once they see how much they will be paying for the mortgage, they say, I'm paying much more for my rent. I'm like, there you go. See, you're going to be saving money.
Yeah. And you look at, you don't even have to go into Boston anymore. You look at places like Waltham where you're paying $2,500 to $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. It's just getting insane.
Yes. I have a client that's about to put his condo for rent in Chelsea, and the market rate right now there is $2,500 for a 2-bedroom in Chelsea.
In Chelsea, 10 years ago, you could have bought the house for $2,500. It's just crazy how quick things change, but it's because everything just keeps getting pushed further and further west. Before we started the show today, you were mentioning that you're seeing more and more people kind of going to Central Mass, even from Metro West. And you seeing that because of the pricing? Is it the bidding wars, a combination? Or?
Because of the demand, and people want to have more house for what they are pre-approved for. Like they know that to buy something in Framingham with $400,000, they're probably going to get like a 900 square feet home, versus if they go to Leominster or if they go to Millbury, they are probably going to get like a 1,500 square feet home. So that's what they are. I think that's a very smart way to think.
Yeah.
Because they're going to live more comfortably.
Yeah.
In a few years, they can sell over there and just move closer to the city. It's something that's temporary.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense.
And we also seem to be seeing more and more people moving closer to Worcester now, because there's a lot more jobs moving out to Worcester because, I mean, let's face it, if you're a company, paying rents in the Boston area are just getting ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And then what you have to pay your employees so they can afford to live in a micro loft is also getting ridiculous. So it's, I mean, you could actually own a home in Worcester still for around the $250 mark.
Yes.
And have it be a halfway decent place.
Absolutely.
I mean, I literally don't think you could get a room in somebody's house for $250 these days in Boston.
Yes, Worcester, the surrounding cities, Worcester County in general, you can find some decent housing for reasonable prices.
Yes.
Yes, you are going to have to commute, but it's better to commute and just build equity
Right.
and pay your own mortgage than living by the city and paying a landlord's mortgage and not
Yeah.
building anything.
Right.
Yep.
But now that the city's becoming sort of a city in its own right, not the stepsister or stepbrother to Boston that it was for so many years, you're starting to see more and more companies move out there. So
Yes.
people don't. Now you can actually get a house in Worcester, in the suburbs of Worcester, and you've got a 20-minute commute and a decent house for $300,000 instead of what you're dealing with in Boston.
Absolutely. And the restaurants and all the community that's moving that way
Yeah.
is just making it so attractive. It's really nice.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of redevelopment downtown. They got
Yes.
the what is it, Polar Park they're putting in the baseball
Yes.
field. It's gonna be something to see when it's done.
I totally encourage people to think about it because it definitely makes more sense
Yeah.
to pay your own mortgage than your landlord's. And
Yeah.
we are here to help.
That's right. That's right. So I'm going to give out your contact info while I'm thinking of it.
Thank you.
Cell is the best way to get a hold of you?
Sellers and buyers.
Okay. For your cell phone is the number I probably should.
Oh, my cell, yes.
Yeah. So if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in Metro West all the way into Boston or even into Central Mass, you want to give Vera Oliveira a call at 617-620-5658. Again, the number is 617-620-5658. So we were talking a little bit about how, it's very expensive for builders to build. What do you think is going to have to happen to start changing that? What's going to drive builders to start putting up single-family homes that the average consumer can afford?
In my opinion, I think that the cities are going to have to start doing something to make it more attractive.
Right.
To builders to build.
Yeah.
In terms of, either
Zoning.
tax-wise or zoning or
Yeah.
making it something less expensive.
Yeah.
Because when it's less expensive for the builders, it will be less expensive for them to pass it along to the buyers at the end.
Right.
So it's all about our, officials to
Right.
do something in their own cities to help us out because there is this huge demand for properties that
Right.
they are not available right now
Right. And that demand is only getting worse by the day.
by the day.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get any better with Amazon coming in, which is amazing. I think that's going to be incredible for Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be an increase of population, and we have to find homes for everybody.
That's right. That's right. And they're going into Boston now?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
not going to make the Boston community better.
Right.
Although it's not even Boston anymore. Now the whole state holds the dubious position of being the worst traffic in the entire country. We beat out California now.
Really?
It is the worst commute times in the country.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And anybody listening, they're like, yeah, if you've been on 495, Route 3, 128 at any point in the last month, you know how
Yeah.
horrible it is.
Yeah.
I mean, 495 is a parking lot after like 2:30 now.
Yes.
It's like 128 was 10 years ago. Now 128 is just a parking lot 24/7.
That's true. Yesterday I was traveling on 495 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was a parking lot. Thanks God for Waze.
Yeah.
I just used the back roads.
Yeah, well, you know what I noticed now that you got Waze, when you take the back roads, you're not alone anymore. Like everybody else is right. Now those are all getting jammed up.
True.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what they're going to do about it, but it definitely needs to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about what's driving pricing and bidding wars? I know you said things are kind of different depending on what areas you're in, but are you still seeing a lot of bidding wars in Metro West?
I still see some bidding wars in Metro West. Central Mass, I'm seeing a lot of them.
Really?
I was helping a friend just buy a house in the North Shore. And we also faced a few bidding wars. We had to go through a few offers to be able to get him into a house. And I think that the situation is the same. Everybody's looking for a way to get out of rent. Rent's just too
Right.
expensive. And
Right.
I think that while we are having this rent crisis, we are going to keep having a hot market and bidding wars. Don't let yourself believe that you will get better rates or better positions in a year from now because we don't know what's really going to happen.
No.
So I would not wait until tomorrow if you can talk to someone today and just get a better view of what your situation is.
Right.
Because
And-
nobody can guarantee that's going to get better rates or more housing next year.
Right. And as rates go up, it starts to erode your buying power.
Exactly.
So you get further and further away from qualifying.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about condos? You still see it? I know there's a couple of condo developments on 495 that are still, I guess you call them garden style, where you can get in for probably under 150,000 in some cases.
You can. I think condos, I always urge my clients to get themselves educated about living in a condo. I think there is a property for everybody. And condo certainly is something that some people prefer over a single family just because they don't want to have to deal with the snow.
Right.
They don't want to have to deal with gardening or landscaping. But they have to understand that there are other things behind it that it's probably is the downside of it. For instance, if you have the condo fee and it's $400 a month, you're not going to be able to have the same buying power that you'd have for a single family.
Right.
If you are living in a condo, you have to understand that you only own from your walls in.
Right.
Everything else outside is not yours.
Right.
And many people don't like that feeling.
Right, because you can't do what you want.
Yes. So it's very important to get educated about what's the difference between living in a condo or townhouse versus a single family. Same thing goes to multifamilies. Are you really prepared to be a landlord? Is that something that you can live with, knowing that someone is banging on the walls upstairs and you cannot do anything about it because it's leased?
Yes.
So I think that that's when having a good realtor working with you is so important, because you need to understand the differences, ask yourself what you really want to buy, and go from there.
Excellent. That's good advice. I'm going to give out your contact info again. It's Vera Oliveira with Lair Realty Partners, covering Metro West, Central Mass, and all the way into the city. You can give her a call on her cell if you're looking to buy or sell, 617-620-5658. Again, it's 617-620-5658. I want to thank you for joining us on the show today, Vera. That was a lot of great information.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Get Real after this.